ladies and gentlemen, what was to be a record-breaking air show in Chennai became a record-breaking show in civic apathy. The Indian Air Force's dazzling air show wasn't the only thing that stunned Chennai on Sunday. What also stunned was just how badly prepared and mismanaged the show was on the ground. For 15 days, ladies and gentlemen, the state government, the Chennai administration, all had been advertising this air show, which was to be the city's first in 20 years. People were told to come with their families because a crowd of more than 10 lakhs would mean a Limca book of records for the city. So despite the heat and humidity, people came, 15 lakh of them. They lined up at Marina Beach as the sun beat down on them. Many of them, as you can see, carrying their umbrellas, but many weren't. By the time the show ended, 5 people were dead, 300 had to be hospitalized. As the 15 lakh crowd moved out of Marina Beach, all exit points were blocked, obviously. The 7,500 police on the ground simply was caught by surprise. But why? Hadn't the Indian Air Force and the Tamil Nadu government in its various meetings not anticipated a crowd of more than 10 lakh? What followed at Marina Beach, ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday was pure mayhem. There was no water. Imagine being at Marina Beach in the heat with all that humidity from 7 in the morning to 11:40 in the afternoon. No water tankers, no traffic management. There were no toilets either. This was a perfect storm, a deadly cocktail of overcrowding, heat, and classic mismanagement. Under fire, the DMK government says they did all that the Indian Air Force asked them to do. But ladies and gentlemen, is crowd management the Indian Air Force's job? This event wasn't happening in an Air Force station. This was happening at the iconic Marina Beach, Tamil Nadu's capital, Chennai. But the DMK government is defending themselves. This is what they are saying.
See, this is conducted by the Indian Air Force, and the crowd which the Marina can hold. We cannot place chairs everywhere. With this kind of a crowd, even you can see in temple functions, sometimes such things occur because of the anxiety of the people. But whatever the DMK do, they want to accuse. Immediately there were more than 100 people were taken to the hospitals.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, point is there were 3 agencies responsible for crowd management at Marina Beach. The traffic police, the Greater Chennai Traffic Police, the regular police, and then the Chennai Municipal Corporation, which was responsible for ensuring that there was enough water and toilets available. All 3 agencies, ladies and gentlemen, failed miserably. Well, they didn't fail when it came to the VVIPs, but they failed when it came to the Aam Janta. At the same event where people were dehydrated to death, there were DMK ministers who were sitting comfortably in a tent sipping on water and refreshments. Now, the absolute chaos was not only witnessed at Marina Beach, but also at nearby railway stations and metro stations. It was absolutely jam-packed with no air to breathe.
Flash news போட்டு உங்க ரேட்டிங் இதுல கூட்டிக்கணும் இல்ல எனக்கு தெரியும் நீங்க என்ன டிவில இருந்து மறுக்கறீங்கன்னு இந்த ரேட்டிங் இன்கிரீஸ் பண்ற இல்லங்க ஏங்க இப்போ நீங்க நான் இத திரும்பி அரசு
We know how the climate in Chennai right now. It's very hot right now. So some people got dehydrated and some also fainted in that particular place. So ambulance were provided by the government of Tamil Nadu, and even water supplies were given from the metro department. So Tamil Nadu state government have taken the measures what are the need is there in that particular place. Even though some mysteries have been done, taken place, so there have been 5 deaths right now. So we really feel bad for them and for their families also.
And the lives of 5 people who lost while attending the event clearly shows how incompetent leader M.K. Stalin is and his department and council of ministers are. Lakhs and lakhs came to the venue to express their solidarity and patriotism on this event. While VVIPs and VIPs, the King Stalin and his family were happy in a makeshift tent with air-conditioned facility. People are made to stand on the sun without any food, any water, no makeshift restrooms, no medical facilities. Clearly indicates how misgovernance are there and how mismanagement can be.
5 people have lost their lives and scores of people have got admitted to hospitals because of dehydration and other issues. First reaction, ma'am?
First of all, it's very unfortunate. I really feel sorry for the lives which we have lost and all the sufferings of the people and the people who have admitted in the hospital. I wish them speedy recovery. But total mismanagement, total unprediction. They have predicted, according to me, 15 lakhs. They have predicted, but they have not made any arrangements. And the people were unable to see the Air Force show with ease, with comfort, because for the past 1 month they were advertising for that, and even the Air Force authorities have mentioned that you come with umbrella. Even that information also only from Air Force. The state government have not done any arrangements. They have not proactively, they have not conducted any meeting when compared to the car show which they had. The Deputy Chief Minister was almost on roads seeing all the arrangements, but here they did not see anything. They did not care about the people.
So the question simply is, why hold an event if you can't handle it? It was clear to everyone, as clear as daylight, that the show will attract more than 10 lakh people. Why did you deploy just 7,000 policemen for this job? In this heat, why were there not enough water tankers and toilets? Someone in the administration didn't do their jobs, ladies and gentlemen, and 5 people are dead. Question is, where is the accountability? Why have heads still not rolled? It's a question I'm putting to my guests who are joining me this evening. Vinod P. Selvam, a spokesperson of BJP Tamil Nadu, joining us on the broadcast. S. Hareesh Ibrahim is a political analyst, will be speaking on behalf of the DMK. The DMK is not deputing spokespersons for this story for obvious reasons. Dr. Narayan Lakshman is a senior journalist. He's joining us on the broadcast. And Wing Commander Abhishek Matiman is joining us on the broadcast as well. Dr. Narayan Lakshman, before I go to anyone else, I want to ask you what you make of what has happened in Chennai on Sunday. Now, I understand there was heat. I understand there was humidity. But can the government get away by saying we simply didn't anticipate such a large crowd? Of course, they had anticipated it.
Yeah, Shreya, I think it's quite clear that this was a massive failure on the part of the planning by the state government. There is, of course, the multi-stakeholder aspect of it, but the state government bears primary responsibility. So there's no getting away from that. And I think, like you said correctly, heads have not rolled yet, but taking that seriously, I think there has to be a dialogue about pinning responsibility and actually seeing justice in that sense served of, this can never happen again. So that is one part of the story. Obviously, the other part is it would help going forward. Again, not trying to blame anyone, but it would help if any state government where future air shows are held also speak in great detail with the Defense Department, Air Force, all of them, because they have conducted this in many different states. And so they should, the state governments have to be willing to take that advice. I think in this case, the air show, the people behind it had, from the central government and elsewhere, informed the state government, but clearly the measures did not follow. So my own thought as a citizen and as a member of the media is there should be a blueprint. We've known now for decades and decades that we are a large country. We get excited and we are patriotic. We want to show up in large numbers for such events. And the facilities have to be there. We're not a barbaric nation. We are a nation that treats its people with some sense of civility and basic, even human rights, which were in this case denied. So I think responsibility is one aspect of it. Coordination, multi-stakeholder coordination is the second. And the third, which may not feature that much in conversations, is just this awareness of increasing climatic catastrophic events. Everybody, whether state governments, the country, and even foreign governments, everybody is still in the mode of either denial or underestimating the devastating consequences of everything from summer heat peaks, beating records never seen before, to other kinds of natural disasters such as floods, and there's so much more, fires, and a lot happening. So I think some awareness has to also extend to public events of this magnitude of climate change itself. So this is a multi-layered issue, but it's very clear where the
That's a
primary
fair point.
responsibility lies.
And therefore, as Hareesh Ibrahim, when it is very clear where the accountability lies, why are we not seeing heads roll either in the Greater Chennai Municipal Corporation or the Traffic Department or the police? All three departments spectacularly failed in their jobs. Why are you protecting them? Why is the DMK government protecting them? I mean, who's saying deploy 15 lakh policemen for 15 lakh people? No one is saying that. But is this how you try and get away? By being rhetorical, by giving us platitudes?
No, first of all, it is unfortunate of losing of 5 lives when there is a massive gathering which was organized by IAF, even with 1 month of preparations along with the state government, with multiple departments, including the Greater Chennai Corporation, Revenue Department, PWD, Metro Department, police, both law and order as well as traffic. Even though if the IAF has a certain time period that is from 11 to 3 o'clock due to their logistical reasons, due to their visibility and etc., they want to conduct in that particular time. And even with the deliberate warning by both the IAF side as well as from the government side to make sure each and every one of them to carry their own water bottles, to bring their sunglasses, to bring their caps, to bring their umbrella, still it is an unfortunate event. We don't want to pass the buck to someone else when the Hathras, like the Hathras even stampede happens. The entire state government should take an accountability and should have resigned immediately. But they never did that. But we don't want to do the politics in that way. But here, the chief minister taking the accountability, saying that we have to learn the lessons from this, and we will make sure to learn the lesson. We will go to the drawing board where we fail, and even the heat stroke of those 5 who lost their precious life, one not because of a stampede or anything. Only during the exit, after finishing the event, they are going to the exit near to the metro station. The metro has been blocked, which has been done by the Southern Railways. The MRTS has been completely ruled off. The Sunday movement has not been there. Nearly lakhs and lakhs of people in entire MRTS stations, each and every station holding nearly 10,000 to 12,000 people on board, where MRT has been run by the Southern Railways, which is direct control of the central government. We don't want to pass the buck to the central government saying that the IAF should take responsibility, the railway department should take the responsibility. The state government is taking responsibility, taking accountable to their actions, and making sure that we will be going to the drawing board with the compensations for all the lives lost. So we want to make sure that this is an unfortunate event. If you want to go ahead and pinpoint each and every one of them like the ADMK does in local state governments, and the BJP does, then we have to pinpoint wherever they have lapsed in a huge way and lost even hundreds of lives.
I'll say this, Ibrahim.
You spoke about. 1 second, let me complete.
You spoke about Hathras, and this is the second time. Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. You just spoke of Hathras. Just a minute. You have spoken of Hathras, sir. Let me just point it out to our viewers very gently that the DM of Hathras was sacked. 3 days after the incident.
It is a stampede.
He was sacked.
Stampede is different from.
It was poor. It was poor crowd management there, sir, and this was poor crowd management here.
15 lakh people out of 15 lakh people, 5 of them going for a heat stroke, even though a multiple warning has been given by the state administration and the IAF, even though there has been a 40 ambulances were kept on both the exits of the Marina Beach. If you know the geography, you won't be giving all those kind
What
of
is the point?
excuses and accusations.
If what
Number
is the
one.
point
Number two.
if people
Number
who
two,
need the
Madam
ambulance
Shreya,
cannot
Madam
access
Shreya,
it
ma'am.
and that the ambulance cannot
No, it is
move
a
to a
false
hospital, sir?
accusation. It is a false accusation. Even
Where was
after
the water?
even
Your minister today was
Madam,
asked how many tankers there were. He
no,
didn't have an answer to it.
no, we have given a press note. There is a press note which has a detail of how many waters, how many toilets, mobile toilets were there on the each and every exits of the Chennai Marina Beach. You know how the geography of Marina Beach is all about. It is a 10 to 12 kilometers long stretch from the Napier Bridge to the lighthouse. And the entire crowd has been spanning across 12 to 15 kilometers. The 15 lakh people has been there almost 15 kilometers, and each and every exit had an ambulance there. And the entire Marina Beach has been surrounded by 4 medical colleges. You know that? Ovandura Medical Institute, Rajiv Gandhi Medical Institute, Rayapeta Medical Institute, and Stanley Medical College. Each and every hospital has been booked with hundreds of doctors and hundreds of beds ready.
And yet 5 people are dead.
Any casualties.
Why?
One second,
Sir,
1 second.
and yet 5
Madam,
people are dead. Vinod
Madam, 1
Selvam,
second.
come in here.
Madam, 1 second.
No, I think you've made the point that you're trying to make, sir.
Okay,
sir,
fine.
I have allowed you to complete. Now let others come in and I'll come back to you. Vinoj, would you want to respond to what the person speaking on behalf of the DMK is saying? He's saying, look, it was hot. People should have come better prepared. Why blame us?
No, that is not my tone. You are putting it in a complete perspective. That is wrong.
Of those who have. Okay, firstly, my condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones. It is rather unfortunate that the DMK's gross negligence has costed lives in Chennai. Chennai had the a very prestigious opportunity of hosting the Indian Air Force show, a show of national integrity and pride. And people who are, people in Tamil Nadu who usually throng in large numbers to see cinema stars had finally come out to show their patriotism. They want to see our Indian Air Force do these stunts and fill the skies with joy. But unfortunately, the DMK, which had more time dedicated to serving their masters, the government was busy taking care of the CM, the family of the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, who were all seated very comfortably in air-conditioned daises with a humpty number of water bottles served in water bottles kept right in front of them and wearing the coolers and shades. But the people who were coming and stranded in the hot sun, it is very irresponsible that the DMK is coming out very arrogantly and saying it's the fault of the people for not coming prepared for such a program, for such an event. If you are incapable of conducting large events, then open up and tell the central government, no, we are not capable of doing such events. Give it to other states. Give it to a state run by BJP who will be able to do it better. We are not in a position to do such shows. We are only good at pleasing our masters. Open up and admit to it. I am telling you on the show, we are in October. Next month is November and Chennai is going to have its monsoon fury and it's going to rain cats and dogs. And the government is going to come out and say it's the people's fault not being prepared knowing it's going to rain. This is the reason they are going to give, because the arrogance has hit their head. The kind of importance, the number of times the ministers went on to the road to make sure that the F4 Formula the championship, the car race championship, which happened in Chennai, it happened fine, it happened well, because the amount of importance the officers were giving, the officials were put on the field. But as far as the IAF is concerned, they knew it was the common man who was going to come, and they are not bothered about the common man. The government has fixed the rate for each life. Now the CM has announced 5 lakhs. You die by drinking hoots liquor, you get 10 lakhs. You die in a tragedy of this sort, you get 5 lakhs. So the rate of every citizen in Tamil Nadu has been fixed by the DMK government. They are buying lives of people. You die in the rain, you get 2 lakhs. So this is the money you are giving for your negligence, for your incompetence. And today the DMK not owing up and coming on TV shows and explaining themselves shows the arrogance they have. They have taken the people of Tamil Nadu for granted, and it is completely unacceptable.
Ibrahim, respond to what Vinoj is saying.
An accountability, good friend Mr. Vinoj, he has to take an accountability for the first with the Hathras, how the administration should handle the stampede. Here there is no stampede. That is what I want to reiterate again. A stampede is different from a heat stroke of a already you having an
anyone
illness.
said there was a stampede? Has the word stampede been used on this show, sir? Why you?
No,
one of your ministers has also said stampede also happens in so many temples.
Ma'am, that is what
has
I'm
anyone
saying.
said there was a stampede?
Ma'am, that is what I'm saying. There is a
But 5
difference
people have
when
died.
there is a
They have died because
mismanagement,
they were
when there is a
dehydrated, because they didn't have water, they didn't get to
Of
hospital on
course,
time.
no. That is wrong. That is wrong. Each and every one of them, although five has been taken down to the particular nearby hospitals, and there is a medical emergency team has been there. Almost nearly 165 doctors were there on the board for handling down the entire stretch of 13 kilometers. So it is unfortunate. We don't want to do politics how the BJP does and how the ADMK does in the state government. We don't want to do it. We take an accountability. We want to make sure that it has been corrected on the next course of time. And these kind of unfortunate events to the mass scale of handling a 15 lakh people, and it is a general issue of each and every individual is concerned. And it is where does the state government has a role to play in heat stroke? When there has been a deliberate attempt by the IAF to conduct only during the time of 11 a.m. till 3 p.m., even though there is a 36 degree of heat. So we don't want to make sure to do politics, petty politics with the lives which has been
Acha.
lost on a precious scale. We
So
deliberately wanted to make sure to
now
put
there are
an
two
effort
things that you
stating
have
that
said. Okay, so there are two things you have said, sir. You have said that A, at least there wasn't a stampede, and B, you are saying what can we do? The Indian Air Force wanted the air show to happen at a time which was between 11 and 3 p.m. when it was very hot. Wing Commander Abhishek Matiman, just come in here as someone who's been part of the Air Force infrastructure, as someone who's flown in these air shows. I want you to tell our viewers whether the Indian Air Force has anything to do A, with the ground management when such air shows are held, what happens in other states, and B, whether the Indian Air Force could have made things easier for the people of Chennai by having this air show, say, at 7 in the morning.
Thank you, Shreya. And right at the outset, I convey my condolences to the families of the 5 people who unfortunately lost their lives in the build-up to the 92nd Air Force Day celebrations. Having said that, I remember not only me, I remember you having been part of the coverage of so many air shows. It's not the first time that this kind of an air show has been held. We have seen almost an equal number of people when we did it on the Marine Drive in Mumbai. Thereafter, we did a similar kind of an air show on the riverfront in Ahmedabad, wherein people were lined up on both sides of the riverfront and for a few quite a distance of length, including lakhs of people. Now, these things, when these are organized, even for that matter, a show where the entry is restricted, unlike this one wherein people can pour in at will, even for restricted shows like Aero India, we have a disaster management committee very meticulously involved in the conduct of affairs before the as a build-up and preparation for such an air show, wherein you already anticipate there are 72 aircrafts, mind you, having taken part in the entire flypast and the air show over the beach. So the excitement generated amongst the populace is natural. And what is surprising is already having precedents, we have this is what it has come to. With these disaster management committees in place, everything from availability of water to dehydration to the soaring temperatures to humidity, everything is borne in mind, and we cater for those things. During the meetings, the preparation is in coordination with the state and district administration during meetings as a build-up to the final event. That is most important. Somehow, what seems is some point has been missed out, as the earlier speaker just pointed out that there were 40 ambulances and 7,500 policemen. So even if you say that it appears to be, even with a back of the hand calculation, it is grossly inadequate. Not solely blaming the state government, because the crowd was 15 lakhs plus, and that is almost a strength of an entire small town. But nonetheless, we need to draw necessary lessons.
True.
What the state administration and the district administration need to realize is the planning coordination has to be carried out very meticulously. If required, resources are to be pulled in from neighboring districts or from the entire state to see these kind of events go actually such kind of events don't end up in a fiasco
Okay.
or unfortunate deaths of people.
You know, if anyone in the Chennai district administration was actually Googling NDMA, they would realize that they have an entire chapter on how to manage crowds at large events like these. And every state has a disaster management committee as well, Dr. Narayan Lakshman. I wonder where they were, what they were doing. Was their help even enlisted? My question to you, Dr. Narayan Lakshman, and this is my last question to anyone on this on the panel, is not to a journalist but to a citizen of Chennai. You know, I have heard this at least thrice in the last 24 hours, that at least there was no stampede, and that is the achievement. Look at the bright side, at least there was no stampede. Yes, there was no stampede. But the fact is that 5 people are dead. 300 had to be hospitalized. You clearly knew that more than 10 lakh people would show up. You were simply not prepared.
No, absolutely, Shreya. I think you're right to say that there are manuals and playbooks for such massive scale events, and just unfortunate that the due diligence was not done. I think there's a lot of anger in Chennai tonight, and there will be for many more days to come. And one can only hope and pray that, like one of your guests said, I hope the lesson has been learned for the future, because it's absolutely devastating to those families, but it's also extremely damaging to the city to think that, you know, we have so many claims of being advanced in terms of our healthcare, in terms of being a inclusive society, so many positives for the state. But when you see something like this happen, you realize the callous, disregard for the value of human life. And I think it has to all begin from there, and the fundamental rethink is needed. The people of Chennai are always, very thoughtful, and they demand the best from their governments, but they also really care about these things immensely. So one can only hope the authorities behind this will sit up, really think hard, and such a thing never happens again. Certainly not in Chennai or Tamil Nadu, but nowhere in our country should it be repeated. That's all I can say.
Dr. Narayan Lakshman, we leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Hareesh Ibrahim, thank you very much for joining us. Vinoj, Selvam, thank you. Good to have you on the show. And thank you, Wing Commander Matiman, for being with us on the show as well. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'm sipping into a quick break on the show.